John, busy week. We've spoken to you about Keith Keane and Josh Wright, but Mat Sadler coming back to the club. Familiar face.
Yes, it's a no-brainer really. I discussed him about a fortnight ago. We've obviously kept tabs on Matt and obviously Jamie Proctor, Danny Ballman, big fads we saw a couple of weeks ago as well. We do keep an eye on our ex-players and what they're up to and where they are, and obviously hoping that they're being successful. And in Matt's case, he's not even making the bench at Rotherham, which we're all sort of shocked at. We couldn't work out why, because we know he's a good player, and we just kept an eye on it really. And I mentioned his name the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned his name and thought, I wondered if ever would let him come out on loan, and he has. So I asked the question, and Evo's agreed to it. He's not playing up there, and I think Matt couldn't wait to come back. Coming back to a place he knows, he'll come straight into the team this weekend. He's a very experienced fullback. Obviously, we couldn't agree a contract in the summer, and he went where the money was, and I don't blame him. So it was not a really difficult decision to try and encourage him to come back, and he's decided to come back. And we've got him here for as long as we can. It just gives us another option in his experience. Obviously it allows Ryan Dixon a little bit more freedom, and I can move Ryan forward. I've obviously got options if one or the other one needs to sort of step out for a while and just have a breather. Ryan has been carrying injuries in the last couple of games, and I'd have loved to have been in a situation where I could have left him out, but I've not been able to. So certainly this weekend Matt will play at left back in the unfamiliar number 26 jersey. So, but it's not always about the number on the jersey; it's what's inside it that matters, and I'm sure the fans will be delighted to see him back.
I mean, obviously, what matters is what happens at 3 o'clock tomorrow. But you've got Joe and Guion available again, the 3 new lads. All of a sudden, just a much more solid look to the squad, isn't there?
Well, I said last weekend I wish that we'd have had one more international player in the squad. We could have called that game off because it was one game too many. I was literally down to the bare bones last week, and I played 1 or 2 players that I possibly wouldn't have played under normal circumstances, and having lost Guion and Joe to the under 21 Welsh squad, it was a game really that we could have done without. I'm not saying that it wasn't the excuse for a poor performance, but nevertheless, some of the youngsters that played last week, I would like to have left them out as well. But we had to go ahead with it, and obviously we got punished very badly, and we all had an exceptionally bad day. But as you quite rightly say, you look at us now, and we look a lot stronger, certainly with the likes of Josh Simpson, very close to a first team recall as well, and the boys coming back from the Welsh squad, and the 3 new signings. It looks a little bit different than it did a week ago, so let's make sure we get a good result as well.
Like all promoted teams, Fleetwood have come up and got some momentum. Mm-hmm. Got some good players up there as well, so it's certainly not going to be an easy game tomorrow, is it?
No, it's not. They've come into this league very well, very good, in good shape. Anyone that gets promotion, there's the first 10 games of the following season normally go to plan. They normally go really well for you because you have come up with that winning mentality, and you probably even strengthened as Fleetwood have done. They've strengthened from last year. So you do come up where you're used to playing with each other. You're very accustomed to the way that you play, and you're used to success. And that momentum will always carry you forward. We've seen it year after year. I remember Portsmouth coming up from the Championship, and suddenly they were top of the Premier League after about 7 games. And it always happens. We were the same when we came out of League 2 straight into League 1. It just wasn't a problem for us. So Fleetwood have found it relatively easy so far, but I've noticed a slight decline in the last couple of games, so hopefully that will continue this weekend.